In the beginning, they looked like Britain's best farm family. The truth came out at that point. Not only did fame change the lives of Amanda and Clive Owens, it split them up. It became normal for fights to happen at midnight, out of jealousy and over whiskey, until Amanda feared going home. So, was their peaceful farm life just something they saw on TV? Were Amanda's fame the very thing that broke up their marriage? Amanda Owen finally says why she left Clive after 3 years of silence. Fans didn't expect this story to happen, a shocking news story. The world loved Clive and Amanda Owen for a long time. They were an odd couple with a 21-year age gap, but they showed everyone that true love has no limits when they made a shocking statement that left fans speechless. Amanda posted these words on her Instagram account in June 2022. "Clive and I have chosen to break up, which makes me sad. It hasn't been easy, but we both think it's the best thing for our family in the long run." The news shocked their fans who had watched their family life on TV for years. People couldn't believe that a couple who had been through real storms together couldn't get through this one. 22 years were wasted. There is nothing left to hold on to. A lot of people didn't realize how much fame had hurt their marriage. The first time Amanda and Clive started dating, they did it alone, with respect for each other and shared goals. But as cameras, books, and public events became a part of their lives, they became apart in a way that neither could heal. Following the breakup, Clive admitted in an interview that he was fully responsible for it. "I did a terrible job," he said. "I messed up a big change. It also hurt my mental health," he said straight out. "Amanda and I were gone." People who saw him go through his journey gave him a lot of respect because he was so honest about his breakup. But a lot of people didn't think that Owen's newfound fame was really what caused them to break up. Something else had to be there. Though the media put a lot of pressure on Clive and Amanda to speak out, they chose not to. They did this out of respect for each other and their 9 children. But Amanda has finally chosen to tell the truth after 3 years. Fans who had been following her journey from the start thought what she said made perfect sense. It finally proved what everyone had thought, that she and Clive might have loved each other. They had never been a perfect match, even on a farm. Model who became a shepherdess. People knew Amanda Owen as the Yorkshire shepherdess, but she had her sights set on something very different. Back in the early 1990s, she wasn't running after sheep across windy hills. She was after the catwalk. She was a Huddersfield teen girl who dreamed of being on Vogue covers and having cameras flash. She was very tall and seemed very sure of herself, so modeling seemed like the right job for her. But the truth showed up in cardigans and flowery prints. Amanda would laugh and say, "You think you're going to be in Vogue, but you end up in knitting catalogs wearing Princess Diana jumpers from the 1980s. It wasn't a dream. It woke me up." She might have been upset by being turned down. Instead, it changed how she thought. Out of the blue, she picked up a book in a quiet area of the library one day that turned her life upside down. It was about rough faces, bad weather, hill shepherding, and hard work. "There is nothing fake or polished," she said. "It was real. I wanted to get burned by wind, sun, and rain." She wasn't born into a working family. Her family wasn't from the country, but she felt drawn to that way of life. She trained, trailed, and learned along the way, and in 1995 the road led her to Raven Seed Farm. She was only 21. There was a quiet sheep farmer named Clive Owen at the door. He was 42 years old. They lived in very different worlds. Still, something made sense. This 6-foot-tall woman came to my door. Clive thought back. "I liked her a lot. You had to be. First it was work, then it was friendship, and now it's something more." She said it was a slow burn. "We were just 2 strangers starting over in life." They were married in 2000 and worked together on a dream that would soon be seen by millions of people. It was hard for them to believe it too. How could a model who used to live a pretty glamorous life drop everything for a guy twice her age who lives on a farm in the middle of nowhere, far from modern conveniences and comforts? She sometimes had the same thoughts. Ravenseat wasn't exactly a picture-perfect farm, after all. It was rough, wild, and sometimes mean. The winters were very bad. It was real to be alone. However, Clive was also not a Prince Charming. He didn't care about having dinner with candles or flowers for their anniversary because he was a straightforward guy. But Amanda did great. When I first got here, the farm seemed empty. She remembered it as if the ghosts of the past were there to greet her. I promised to bring life back. In fact, she did just that. She would one day think about the past and wonder if she should have gone back to her cardigan picture shoots. She put her whole heart and soul into the farm and her life with Clive for now, even though there was a voice in her head telling her that this was not her way. How things are on Ravenseat Farm. The farm was perched high on the edge of the Yorkshire Dales, where the wind howls louder than traffic and the hills go on forever. It looked like a forgotten country, all by itself, harsh and beautiful. Stone walls, wild weather, and old paths cover 2,000 acres. It was hard to see the next village on the map, and to get to the next town, you had to walk for miles through rough territory. This wasn't hard for Amanda and Clive Owen, though. It was the start of their journey. It was quiet and stormy here, but they built a world with 30 cattle, 9 children, and almost 1,000 sheep. They became partners not through romance books, but through cold mornings, muddy boots, and never-ending hard work. What began as a small sheep farm slowly turned into a kingdom that the owner built himself. It wasn't given to them like everything else on this land. It was one lamb at a time, day after day. Walkers, an unusual source, were the one who made the difference. The coast-to-coast trail went right through their land a lot. Amanda, who used to love groups but sometimes still wants to connect with people, started selling cream teas. She cherished her relationship with Clive, the farm, and their shared existence. She would never get used to being alone all the time, though. She felt better when she talked to people over tea because her husband didn't say much, but she found more than just friends. When tourists started paying for cookies and drinks, what started out as scones and jam turned into a small but important source of income. What's more, it showed something very important. Amanda truly had a gift, not just for working, but also for getting to know other people. But it wasn't the land or the sheep that made Ravenseat stand out. It was the kids. There are 9 of them, and they were all born outside and raised on a farm. They worked as soon as they could walk. Babies rode in backpacks while they were being fed. Little kids learned to herd before they knew how to spell the word. Sheep greeted students in the morning, and snow covered the way to country classrooms at the end of the day. This school taught a lot more than just studies. They learned about life from the fields, about death from lambing pens, about money from livestock auctions, and about the weather from the sky. There were no iPads, no friends, and no way out. Even though it wasn't easy for them, they made up for it by being close to the land, to each other, and to something real and raw that most people never touch. The Owens didn't run their house like most families do these days. There were no plans, play dates, or parents hovering over them. Instead, Clive said it all very well. They're coming with us. We get there, but we make it up as we go. They love it. It worked. They worked together to make a machine that could run itself, a human environment made of sweat, instinct, and fierce love. But roots can crack no matter how strong they are. Stress can make even the quietest places echo. They were afraid that their world would soon be found by other people. Plus, the attention changes things in strange ways. How fame on TV can be good and bad at the same time. It all started with a simple Twitter account. The Yorkshire shepherdess Amanda Owen had no idea that her straightforward blog posts about farm life would cause such a stir. Her stories touched people, whether they were about having lambs in snowstorms or raising 9 kids in a time without modern conveniences. She didn't think that her honest, raw style would catch the attention of TV directors who were looking for something real and different. It all began in 2011 when Amanda and Clive made their first TV appearance on Adrian Edmondson's ITV show The Dales. They had 5 kids at the time, and their down-to-earth approach to farming and family life struck a chord right away. People liked that the Owens didn't lie about anything. People couldn't get enough of them because they were real. It didn't end there, though. In 2015, the family was on New Lives in the Wild UK, where Ben Fogle talked about their way of life. The video showed what it's really like to live in harmony with nature, away from the chaos of city life. It captivated people all over the country. 2018 was the year that really changed things. The offer from Channel 5 to give Amanda and Clive their own show would take their lives to a whole new level. Come Into Our Farm in Yorkshire. Narrated by Ralph Little, an actor. The family was filmed during all 4 seasons, from blizzards and flooding to crops and school runs. Fans saw what the Owens may have thought was a daily grind as pure gold. It wasn't just a hit. Over 3 million people watch each episode of Our Yorkshire Farm, making it one of Channel 5's most popular shows very quickly. But while everyone was amazed, the Owens were having a hard time keeping up with their newfound fame. It began as a way to make a little extra money for the farm, but it grew into a full-on second job. Amanda's social media followers grew like crazy. Book deals kept coming in, and she had a lot of speaking opportunities. What she used to do to share her life in the country had grown into a business. Amanda said, "I was focused during this time. I was looking for every chance to give my family the life they earned." She wanted to settle down with her family and maybe, just maybe, buy Raven Seat Farm. It wasn't theirs to begin with, after all, but as Amanda's fame grew, things at home started to change. This made Clive, who had always been the calm center of their lives, feel like he was being left behind. He had no idea that their small farm life would become famous all over the country. He said, "I didn't think the show would become as big as it did. How much time would Amanda spend advertising it? I thought I was left behind." The way power worked in their marriage started to break down. It used to be based on shared duty and equal partnership. Clive had been the main breadwinner, but now he had to watch as Amanda's job in the media brought in steady money. He told her it was hard, especially since he knew Amanda, who was very pretty, was getting dressed up for events and hanging out with other people. "I didn't like it. I didn't like how successful she was, and anger is bad." Amanda was trying to balance her work at the farm and her obligations to the media, which made Clive more angry. At 1:00 a.m., she would drive home from a 5-hour event to do the family shopping, just to show Clive that she still cared about both worlds. "I was worn out," Amanda said. "I wanted to show him that I could handle everything." At the same time, Clive found another way to deal with his anger: liquor. He told her, "I was drinking a lot." His anger was slowly rising to the surface. Their marriage, their home, and even the camera showed signs of stress. She said, "I never knew what I would find when I got home. It was very quiet, and I could feel the rage building up. Now, more than just the cameras were watching." The Owens were known all over the country. The show Our Yorkshire Farm, which showed how great their life was in the country, turned into a look into a family fight. Behind the scenes, the cracks got bigger, and what had been a strong, private marriage was now breaking apart because of the fame. The audience didn't know the whole story, and for the kids, what used to be their safe, quiet world was now being shown in millions of houses. Their privacy, which had been protected by miles of empty land, was now suddenly at risk. By 2021, whispers were going around. They said in public the Owens were going through a rough patch, but being watched all the time made their problems worse. Every move was watched closely, and every stress was heightened. Fame was becoming both good and bad for a family that had built everything from scratch. The rocky area, it wasn't what anyone thought would happen, but the Owens' marriage was falling apart by 2021. Thoughts had been going around for months, and Amanda and Clive soon had to face the truth and speak out. With the TV show and the books, we've always tried to show the reality of life on the farm. They told OK Magazine in an honest conversation. We have ups and downs in our marriage, even more so because we're running a farm and raising 9 kids. We're a normal family, they said, and we've never said that our marriage is perfect. That moment of raw honesty hit millions of fans who had been watching them for years, reminding everyone that even the most loved couples have problems. But what viewers didn't know was that the problems they were having weren't just short-term problems, they were signs of something much deeper. The rough patch Amanda and Clive talked about wasn't just a temporary problem, it was the slow breakdown of their 22-year marriage. The tension was palpable behind closed doors. They were no longer working together as well as they used to because of the farm, which was once their shared dream but was now causing them to grow apart. As Amanda's career in the media took off, Clive became busy with the day-to-day tasks of running the farm, and the balance between their public and private lives tipped in ways they couldn't control. Amanda later talked about how hard she had worked to keep things together. The more Clive shut me out or put me down, the more I tried to prove I was still all in, she said. She was so determined to show her family that she hadn't left them that she drove through the night and stopped at supermarkets, but every move she made seemed to make things worse between them. I never knew what I was walking into, Amanda said. As I walked through the door, I'd feel the tension rise because I didn't know if I'd be met with silence or a fight. For a woman who had always found comfort in her home, this was the worst thing that could happen. I wasn't proud of my actions back then, Clive admitted. I wasn't kind to Amanda. My insecurity about her success ate at me. The whiskey became my crutch as anger and resentment slowly overtook me. I know she dreaded coming home because she knew what was going to happen next. The fights and the stress. He was disgusting, Amanda finally said, remembering how she would come home from a long day promoting their show and signing book deals to find Clive drunk and the farm in a mess. Because they didn't have any neighbors to lean on, the problems got worse on their rural farm. They were stuck in a bad cycle, and no one could help them see way out, and the cameras made things worse. Every day they filmed, they had to hide their problems and show the world a perfect family, even though their marriage was falling apart behind the scenes. For Amanda, the breakup was easy at first, but also brought new problems. People were quick to judge her because she was the more public figure in the relationship. This was especially true when rumors spread that she was seeing businessman Robert Davies, who used to be friends with both Amanda and Clive. What makes their story so interesting is that they didn't get angry with each other. They wanted to keep their relationship friendly for the sake of their kids and the farm they built together. Amanda said, "This hasn't been easy, but we both believe it's the right choice for the future of our family." Could these two farmers find a way to start over after such a painful breakup? Co-parenting and fresh starts. Amanda and Clive Owen weren't like most couples. When they broke up in 2022, it wasn't the end of everything, it was the start of something new, but still powerful and meaningful. Amanda said on their new show, "We're still husband and wife, but we're separate." She said it with a quiet strength that didn't even begin to cover the huge problems they'd been through. But the truth is that what they were going through behind the scenes wasn't simple. Raven Seat Farm was very hard to get to because it was in the middle of nowhere in the Yorkshire Dales. The farm, where they wouldn't have to deal with many other people, had always been their dream. They had to figure out how to keep up with family life even though they were living apart. Their answer was sensible. Amanda and some of the kids moved into a separate farmhouse on the land. Clive stayed with other people in the main home. That choice let the kids go from house to house without being stopped, keeping their pattern and giving them a sense of stability even though things were changing all the time. Amanda said, "This is what we have to do," as if the problem wasn't important. It's not. Big deal. A lot of people are going through the same thing. Clive's words matched Amanda's straightforward attitude. "Mandy and I have had a rough few years, but we're now in a position where we're still business partners and parents together. It's crazy, but it's the best thing for everyone." This arrangement did more than just give their kids a stable home life. It gave them room to grow. Their oldest daughter, Raven, found a love for science and made her own way in school. Their son, Reuben, used his mechanical skills to turn his love of farming into a TV career, landing his own spin-off show and even starring in Reuben Life in the Dales. Their dedication to co-parenting during a family crisis wasn't forgotten. Because of how much people liked their story, a 10-part series called Our Farm Door, Amanda, Clive, and Kids was made about how they fixed up a run-down farmhouse next door to Raven Seed. The project wasn't just about fixing up a building. It was about giving their kids a future and leaving a legacy that would last after they left the farm. This arrangement where parents live apart but still work together for their kids happens more often than people think. Amanda said, proud of their new life, life wasn't always easy after they broke up, though. The tabloids quickly wrote about Amanda's friendship with businessman Robert Davies. Even though Clive openly supported the relationship and even suggested that Amanda might be a good match for Robert, the media kept following Amanda around and watching everything she did. Clive stood by her through this. He pointed out that I was seeing other people too, but no one was following me around with cameras. It seems like the media thought she would be someone she's not. Even though Amanda and Clive were judged and felt pressured to live in the public eye, they kept their eyes on their kids and the farm they had worked so hard to build. Amanda was good at business, but Clive was good at gardening, so the two of them worked together to deal with the problems that come with living in the country. Amanda and Clive have been able to rebuild their lives after a failed marriage. They are using the pieces of their past to make something new, like the farmhouse they are fixing up. The way they're building their family might be even better than they had planned, even though it's not what they had planned. She was always the picture of calm determination when she said, "We take life as it comes." They're updating homes, raising kids, and taking on the world on their own terms. With each new task, they're writing a new chapter that might be more inspiring than the last. What do you think Amanda and Clive could have done differently after everything that happened? Just write your thoughts in the box below. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Have a nice day, and we'll see you soon.